Okay, so what is a lobbyist?
What is a lobbyist? And that's a great question, because the lobbying registration, and this is why it's so complicated, because you have the LDA basically states that and this is, I'm going to give you a couple examples, and it's very, very, I want to read this so I get it correct
Sure.
for the viewers. If a lobbyist is retained and doesn't make and works more than 25%, but doesn't get paid more than $3,000 and doesn't make any contacts, say they work 50%, doesn't constitute their lobbying.
Okay.
If they make more than $3,000, then this is the reverse. If they make more than $3,000 a quarter and work less than 20%, they don't have to register. So what a lobbyist is, and what most people don't understand, is there's so much misperception about what a lobbyist really is here in Washington and in the States. Our job is to educate and inform people. People think there are backroom deals, but the bottom line is our job is to go into an office, tell the story. We can't lie, because if we lie, we lose credibility and never welcome back in that office again. And in this town, your reputation is the coin of the realm. So our job is to educate and inform, and ultimately, the legislators need to make the decisions on that information. And really, really important, Carla, is that lobbyists never vote on the floor. I love the way that legislators tend to pass the buck every now and then. The evil lobbyists made me do it. Well, in 18 years of being a lobbyist, I've never voted on the floor.
But what about the campaign contributions?
Well, that's a different issue. I think campaign reform is critical. But and I've met with people from the public financing side, because I believe that is the seminal issue right there. If we are able to address the campaign issue, the lobbying issue can stand on its own, because the education and information is never going to change. You're always going to need somebody up here in Washington protecting your interests. But until the average American is ready to put $2,000 to $3,000 in their own tax dollars into electing their politicians, I'm trying to figure out how the system changes. Does that make sense?
Yep, so you don't see any changes then to the way it works now?
I would love to see changes. And like I said, the American League of Lobbyists, we are having conversations all the time, because at the end of the day, the legislators don't want to spend 20% of their time fundraising. We get hit up all the time, and then we get demonized. So I would rather be at home with my son on a Wednesday night instead of going to 3 fundraisers on a Wednesday.
You say you get hit up all the time. How does it work?
Basically, you have, it's usually an email campaign or faxes. I probably get about 15, 20 solicitations a day.
From these campaigns?
From the campaigns.
For these House and Senate members?
Exactly.
Running for re-election. They're asking you to show up at a fundraiser that night?
Yep, the grip and grin. It's the, and it's, you go in there and...
Well, what do you mean, grip and grin?
It's, hi Congressman, great to see you. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. How's the campaign going? That type of thing.
And then you give them a check.
Well, the check is already sent. It's not a quid pro quo. It's not a, hey, by the way, I'm here. I want you to vote for this. Mm-hmm. That's not the way it happens. It's the way people may think it happens, but that's not the way it happens. What you're doing is you're showing support for somebody who believes in your philosophy or your client's philosophy.